best way to explain it is an interval is just the relationship between notes, how far they are away from each other. And different intervals creates different harmonies, different things together when you stack them. And that's what creates scales, that's what creates all of this stuff. And that's what makes your heart flutter.
Well, I'm learning from you. You teach from the heart. I'm up here showing techniques here, but you're gonna.
You're helping me open my heart, so I'm very grateful.
Here we go. It comes from the major arcana of the tarot. So let's take a look at that. You have one, which is the magician. He's got the power. He can do anything. He can go to gospel, Beethoven, wherever he wants. Mm-hmm. Then you have the second. Priestess, feel it, the mystery. Now,
and I feel that. I like if you actually stop for a second and feel that sound.
Oh yeah.
And I never thought about it like this ever, until you explained this to me. And I even went and Googled this because I was like, what was he saying? What were the relationships? Because I was trying to explain it to someone else, and it's not on the internet.
That's right.
Which is also just a really sexy thing. If I can't find it on the internet, it's like, wow.
Welcome to Maui Echo. We do miracles.
Because it really spoke to me. And I think you don't have to be a musician to just wait a second and be like, here's the root. All right, that's the C note, that's the root. Every key starts with the root. And those two together, that relationship is an opening.
To the subconscious.
I feel it.
Right. So let's move on till we go do, re, mi. There's the third. 1, 2, 3. Now we have the Empress, and she's pregnant. She's sitting in the garden. The birds are singing. Notice how sweet that is.
Mm-hmm. It's super sweet. It feels great.
Mexicans play everything in thirds. Everything's nice and sweet in thirds.
It's a really nice relationship. It's
sweet.
And the third interval is if you're playing a major chord, the third interval is the middle note. So they really do go together.
Now when we go to the fourth, 1, 2, 3, 4, you put those together. The Emperor.
Strong.
Strong
fanfare.
The Emperor is here. You feel it.
Yeah, I feel it. And the fifth is, what is the relationship of the fifth to the tarot?
Okay. Now here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It's perfection. The fifth is perfection.
It's the Hierophant, voice of God.
Voice of God.
In other words, outside of unity and octaves, it's the most healing interval on the planet. All those Hindu ragas, they'll just drone for hours, that fifth.
Between the 1 and the 5.
Yeah, 1, 5, the fifth. Mm-hmm. Also, scientists had 2 greenhouses, and in one greenhouse, he had a fifth just droning 24 hours a day. The other greenhouse, no fifth. These plants went, whoo! The other one's not so good.
You're kidding.
I'm not. The stories behind the fifth is really astounding.
Now, the cool thing about intervals is we're playing it in this key, C.
Yeah.
This is a fifth, but this is also a fifth.
In all keys.
In all keys. That's why intervals are special, is because intervals are the relationships. It has nothing to do with which key they're in. Fifth. Fifth. But each time, that relationship between the two notes, you feel that harmony, that that's why intervals as a reference point are a really interesting thing, is because you don't need to know keys. It's just about how they relate to each other.
So now let's take a look at the 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 6. Now, by the way, just as a footnote, this goes with any scale, major, minor, Lydian, whatever. But we're using major now. Now, the 6 in the tarot card is the Lovers. Oh, my darling. If I don't see you soon, I think I'm gonna die.
It is, you hear them though. Just in those two notes.
My darling. Okay, so that's the lovers.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, I think we got that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now here's the 7th.
And there's dissonance there. Dissonance is a big term in music, which means it doesn't quite connect.
And the minor 7th's a little nice, but it's still. Now you'll notice it's not a stable key. It wants to move. It wants to resolve.
Mm-hmm.
Or a minor 7th, but you don't hear that much.
It wants to move to the next place.
Like a chariot of energy.
And that's what the card is.
The chariot is an instrument of movement. Isn't that
crazy.
something? But now there's one guy who really pounds the 7th and never stops. He uses a minor 7th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. And that's James Brown. And what does that make you want to do?
Move. Get off your chair.
See?
Get off your chair.
He's my hero on that one.
He's a hero to many. That's for sure.
So now let's move on to this. This is a chord. 1, 3, 5.
That's your everyday vanilla major chord.
Minor or major doesn't matter.
And again, intervals 1, 3, and 5 make a major chord.
That's right, or even a minor.
Or a minor
Also,
chord.
yes. Now then, think of the root as raw energy here. The heart, the third, the empress, she's pregnant in the garden and everybody's love, as the heart. And the 5th, voice of God.
But do you hear that? When you play that, like I feel that. I don't think it, but I feel that.
Oh, it's
the
just
root in you, okay? This is the root. Wherever you start, you can start in a different key. It's the root. The empress. And then the voice of God, this 5th, this perfect thing that makes it 1.
Yeah.
And then that's your chord. That is harmony.
Right. Now look at what happens when you play instead of here the root at the bottom, you play the 3rd. Feel that heart energy? And now, if you've ever been to Bali, they don't ever play their root is the 3rd. For hours and hours. That's why to Westerners, when's it going to end?
Because the Westerners don't, that's not how we think. We think in a much more linear, much more root version. We want specific resolves. It's like your Disney story happy ending.
Right.
And a lot of Eastern music definitely keeps you floating. That 3rd keeps you floating. It keeps you in this place.
If you notice, but in classical music, they'll have this, they'll end like this. There's a 5th on the bottom, and that means it's time for the soloist to do a cadenza and make up all the stuff he wants to make up, be the voice of God right now. So you have the 5th on the bottom, the hierophants here.
Yeah. Or in pop music, you have Lionel Richie playing.
Yeah. Feel that? I'm here, baby.
Easy like Sunday morning.
I'm the voice of God. I'm here for you, baby.
Yeah, like inviting you, to come to the next place, the divine.
So now we're going to go a little further. We've learned to 7, the intervals. Now we're going to go to the 8th. Now, of course, as I said before, the 8th is the same note as the root, only twice as fast. So now you're going into another dimension. That's why I call the 8th interval heaven. Da-ra. Then he goes to the 9th, which is the same note as the 2nd. And that is in the tarot cards, the Hermit. Now notice that the 2nd was opening doors to the subconscious, the spirit world. Now, if you take that twice as fast, you have the hermit, which goes into the door, who leaves the outside world behind and goes into the subconscious, into the spirit world. And it kind of goes on from there. It gets a little more ethereal up there. So that's the 8th and that's the 9th. And later on we'll learn more in the harmony section. Now take a look at these intervals. Okay. It has a language. Let's take a look, for example, the Superman melody. Okay, now it begins with the 4th. All right, action on earth. It winds up on the root and it goes, remember the 1, 3, 5, power, love, clarity, magician, empress, voice of God. So it goes straight to bum, ba, ba. Now I'm inspired again. Then it goes to the 7th. Now remember what we learned about the 7th? Movement. And with Superman, you're talking some serious movement. Then it goes all the way to heaven. Now let's take a look at Lois Lane's theme song. Okay, so here's Lois Lane. She goes bum. Then it goes to the 3rd, an octave higher. 3rd, the heart, and winds up on the 2nd, high priestess. Now we're talking about some serious feminine creative spirit. Then it goes to heaven, takes it down to earth, and doesn't stay there. It ends in the Empress. Ends up in the heart, Lois Lane. And you can take many other melodies and see what the melody is saying. This opens up a lot of doors. So let's open some more doors.